decided to come down hard on this. The reasons being because they say the consequences of sharing these indecent images and cyberbullying are very, very serious. And whilst the NSPCC welcomes the debate and are glad that the police are talking about it, they just think that this approach of potentially criminalising children and parents is the wrong one because they want to keep the lines of communication open.
Claudia, thank you very much. The ex-boyfriend who killed Kent student Molly McLaren in a frenzied knife attack said there was something in his head telling him to do it, a court's heard. Joshua Stimpson admits stabbing the 23-year-old to death at a car park in Chatham last June, but denies murder due to diminished responsibility. The trial continues. A congestion charge similar to the one in London is being considered for lorries in Dover. Local councillors will discuss the idea of collecting £1 for every lorry using the port at a meeting later today. According to the Labour councillor who put forward the idea, the money could be used to regenerate the town. Now, a Kent MP says millions of pounds of taxpayers' money has been wasted after it emerged that the government has spent more than £5.5 million renting Manston Airport. The measure was introduced after the M20 was gridlocked in the summer of 2015 in case Operation Stack's put in place and the site is needed to park lorries. The cost is equivalent to £6,700 a day or £2.4 million per year, amounting to a total of £5.7 million. The Department for Transport has defended the move, saying the disruption in 2015 cost the economy £250 million. We'll be hearing from our political editor in Westminster in a moment, but first, let's speak to our reporter Lucy Vladev, who's in Manston. And Lucy, the Dover MP, says this money should have been spent elsewhere.
Yes, he believes Manston will never work as a lorry park, and he's calling on the government to ditch the idea completely and instead reinvest that money on the roads. Now, we've also spoken to the campaign group Save Manston Airport today, and they say that spending that amount on an overflow lorry park that isn't even in use is a massive waste of resources, and they're concerned about the ways that lorries will be passing through narrow roads nearby. But the Freight Transport Association believe, although the location might not be perfect, it is a measure that's needed to help ease congestion with Operation Stack. They say that it is money well spent.
It's vital you have this resource in place in case Stack is called, so that you can keep the motorways and all the other roads open. No one in Kent wants to have all the major roads and the motorways completely blocked with lorries in the event that Stack happens.
Well, the owners of Manston Airport have released a statement in the last hour. They say that they've invested a lot of money in preparing the site so that they can be ready to take lorries within 3 hours, and that they are reinvesting that money on development plans.
Lucy, thank you very much. Well, our political editor, Helen Katz, in Westminster this lunchtime. And Helen, the future of Manston Airport's very divisive, we know that. And it recently led to the UKIP's leadership of the local council being called into question.
Yes, reopening Manston as an airport was the key pledge of UKIP's campaign to win Thanet Council back in 2015. Since then, though, the leader, Chris Wells, has come to the view that it's not viable, that the site should instead be put into the local plan for housing. A dozen of his councillors disagree. They helped to vote that down earlier this month and then called on Councillor Wells himself to resign. I understand there's been pressure on him too from the party nationally and from the government, which has given the council just until today to justify why they're not any further on in developing that local plan, under threat of taking over.
OK, Helen Katz, thank you very much.